Hey, I'm Jess Hugo, personal trainer and nutritionist, and I am here to show you that life is messy, but we're doing it anyway. Welcome to Doing It Anyway, the podcast for building the life that you want without burning out. Let's get into it. Something I see way too often with girls in their 20s, 30s, 40s is that we start a fitness journey with a goal in mind, but every single time we start to see even the littlest bit of results, we are completely self-sabotaging. We are trying to undo everything. We are destroying all the progress we've made. But when I say this, I'm not saying it meaning that you've been doing that intentionally, but we still manage to do that. And suddenly you're going from feeling good, seeing results, to absolutely hating what you're seeing in the mirror, which doesn't make sense because you're working one-to-one with someone, you're actively going to the gym, you're actively seeking help, and you're like, why is this happening? And I really, really want to talk about it today because I'm seeing it so often with girls inside my world, girls coming to me and inquiring with me and wanting to work with me. And I think a lot of blame goes to our partners, the coach, the this, the that. But sometimes we do actually have to call ourselves out a little bit and see where our actions are letting us down. And it kind of looks like you're hitting a few really good weeks. Let's just say your first 4-ish weeks are feeling really, really good. Something I always, tell my clients is the first 4 weeks are always going to feel quite easy. You're feeling good. You're showing yourself that you can commit to something. You're really showing up for yourself. This is probably the most energy your body has ever had. This is probably the best you've ever felt in your body. You're probably feeling lighter. Around the 4 to 6, sometimes it can be 6, 7, 8. It just depends on the individual. But I like to say after the 4 weeks to around the 6 weeks, I like to call that the sticky point. That is the point where everything feels a little bit harder. We've been maintaining that routine for about a month now. This is the make or break for if we've created a habit or if we're still really forcing ourselves to show up. And I say this because the 6-week mark is like we either are really feeling shit, like we're torn. We're getting these really great results and that's making us feel good. But showing up, doing our sessions, doing our steps is making us feel really, really shit. And we're like in this middle point of like, I don't really want to be doing all of this. I kind of hate training. I kind of hate this. I kind of hate that. So then we're not seeing the results. And I think the mindset around this is a whole nother conversation. If you're always going to sit there and say, I hate training, I hate the gym, I hate steps, I hate movement, when are we going to take some responsibility that if we're going to be that negative, we're probably not going to get the result we desire? Sometimes we have to do things we don't like that make us uncomfortable, that we quote unquote hate to see a result, but we shouldn't be saying that we hate everything. And that is almost a different conversation where you need to dig a little bit deeper. But you've had a good few weeks, you're feeling really, really locked in, and then the sticky point is kind of coming in. You know that you're doing well because you can see it in your progress photos, you can see it in your measurement, you're actually getting compliments from other people and you're feeling really confident because if other people are starting to notice and you're noticing and you're just feeling really good, then it's almost like, oh, good, everything I'm doing is working. I can take a little breather now. A little breather now then looks like skipping one workout, not tracking a snack here, going out once, twice, 3 times in the week when before you were only going out once. Stopping tracking for a few days and saying it's just a few days, or I eat basically the same meals every day. That is the sticky point. That is where we start letting our habits fall. We start loosening up and then we don't see the results that we were seeing in the first 4 weeks anymore. And it slowly unravels from there and we start thinking, oh, it must be because my friends are wanting to hang out with me more. It must be because of my boyfriend. It must be because, this coach isn't good at her job or whatever, whoever you're blaming. This app doesn't work. This workout app doesn't work, all of the things. But it's not actually one big decision. It's all those little things. And when I say it like this logically, you're like, oh, that makes so much sense because I stopped training as often and I stopped walking as often and I wasn't being as consistent. But we don't actually know that until it's really laid out thin for us. And I know I recently talked about how blunt I am, and I do say this to my clients, and I said to one of my clients the other day, you haven't tracked consistently for a few months for the whole week. You always fall off by the end of the week. You're always playing like footsies, honestly, by Saturday, Sunday. And then you come in here and you're like, I don't know why I'm not getting results. I'm telling you right now, that is why you're not getting results. And yes, it's fucking hard to hear, but sometimes we just have to have that conversation and have it drawn out to us because in the moment, not tracking that meal doesn't feel like it's going to make a big deal. In that moment, not doing our workout doesn't feel like it's going to amount to much. That's like a 1%er. But when we're dropping thing after thing after thing, we're obviously not going to be seeing those results anymore. And it's never just one big thing. It's a few little small things adding up, chipping away, and creating this momentum and almost like a spiral, a snowball downwards. It's the opposite of what we're wanting. We want to chip away and go up, but instead it's like chipping you and pulling you downwards, and we're going to go into that snowball. So without talking about the whole mindset side of things, because that's not really what I'm here for, but all this pressure kind of happens when we start losing weight, because now it's like, am I going to be able to maintain this? Am I going to be able to buy new clothing like sizes? I've just dropped a dress size. I'm going from a 10 to an 8. Should I go buy 8s or should I not? Because I always gain back the weight and then I won't fit into the 8s. And what if I, gain this weight back and I'm not going to be able to wear anything if I get rid of these clothes? So then I have to hold on to these clothes, and all this pressure sits around us, and we don't maintain this because we don't see ourselves in it. And I had this conversation the other day. I said to my client, how come every single time you start absolutely slaying, like I can see the visible changes, you actually just revert back into yourself, you start going really quiet on me, you start binging the cupboard again, like what's been going on? And she's like, I've just never had good habits. And that's the problem, right? Not that she hasn't had good habits, but that's how she sees herself. You don't see yourself as the consistent one. You don't see yourself as the girl who has the good habits, the girl who leans on exercise for mental health, for energy. She sees herself as the girl who leans on food. So when she wraps her whole identity around being an emotional eater, being a binge eater, she then thinks that she is a problem and she can't maintain this lifestyle because she wears this badge of honor of like, well, I'm the emotional eater, so I'm actually not going to be able to maintain this anyway. So I'm just going to go back into that because I've never been consistent and I'm not a consistent person, which is actually not true. It is not true. And when I talk about her specifically, it is not true. She's so consistent when she's on. But when she falls back into this identity, she's not consistent anymore and she's inconsistent. But that doesn't mean that she's an inconsistent person, right? I think she's one of my most consistent clients. It's how she views herself. And this is what I find really important as well, is making my clients aware of what I think of them. Because I think it's really easy to think like, wow, Jess is doing the most, Jess is doing this, Jess is doing that, or her clients must all be really good. Like, she hasn't posted me on her story, I must not be good. That is furthest from the truth. And when someone actually did say that to me the other day, she's like, I just want to be posted on your social media. And I was like, love you. First of all, you're already on my website, bitch. Like, what? I was like, you gotta go have a look. Second of all, just keep going and doing those things. The girls that have got posted, they are not different to you. They're not better than you. They're nothing different. They literally just keep going and back themselves even when shit feels messy. And that is also the thing of like leaning into that support. So many of my girls just lean in. I'm having the shittest fucking week ever. Just like, let's talk about it. And that's exactly what we do. And that is how they keep chipping away. What I actually just did recently, again, I always talk about this, none of my clients, it's not one size fits all, but one of them I was like, okay, we're not tracking. Another one I was like, let's do a bit of a maintenance phase. And the maintenance is so underrated. I've talked about this before. No one ever wants to do maintenance. How many times this year have you tried to stay in the deficit for like the whole year so far? How many times have you gained and lost the same 5 kilos? I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a you problem. That's not a consistency problem. It's a maintenance problem. It's the fact that you've never, ever, ever sat at maintenance for more than 5 minutes before. It's that you can't maintain a maintenance. You're either all in to being on the lowest fucking calories possible, or you're all out and you're overeating and gaining back the weight. And there's never that nice in between. And I think as well, the problem is in a world of like, let's do this 6-week challenge, let's do this 8-week challenge, like cut weight, we are never actually seeing maintenance phase. And I understand the logic behind it. I understand people think, well, why would I pay a coach to sit me in a maintenance phase? Because it is the hardest fucking phase to sit in. I sat in a maintenance phase with a coach for 12 months once before. And of course, it crossed my mind 100 times, like, why am I paying for this? This is kind of silly. No, that was the most prominent, like pivotal moment in my fucking weight loss career. My weight loss fucking journey, not career, journey. Like literally, I sat at that for so long and it felt so hard, but it unravels your shit. It shows you where you're just choosing to overeat because you're giving into cravings and you're giving into desire. It shows you the habits that you make when you're tired, when you haven't slept very well. It shows you how much you actually use your energy or don't at maintenance. Something I noticed when I was in a maintenance, or a bit of like a higher maintenance, if you will, when I was in a bit of a bulk, was I actually can't get to sleep as easy. I can't fall asleep as easy because I have so much food in my system, which tells me I'm not moving enough on those calories and I'm almost overeating. None of that you become aware with when you're in a deficit because you're eating so little. And even when you're overeating, there's so much shame and guilt and pressure that our body is almost not responding in the way that we want it to. And I just want you to know right now, a deficit is 20 times harder than maintenance. Trust me on that, because it's so much easier to chase a result, chase weekly weight, like scale drops, chase a number on the scale of like, I'm going to lose 5 kilos. And like, I see a lot of the time, like, I'm going to join this coach and I'm going to lose 5 kilos and then I'm going to go and I'm going to maintain it for life. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you're quitting as soon as you hit that goal, no, you're absolutely not, because it is so much easier to chase that goal than believe that you can maintain it. And this is not for me to like scare you off, but seriously, how many times have you gained and lost the same kilos over and over and over and over again? And 1 kilo is water weight. 5 kilos is not water weight anymore. We need to clear that up, because I think a lot of people are getting confused. There's a difference between water weight and weight gain. Water weight is anywhere between like 1 kilo, 1.5 maybe, but if you're up in the 3 to 5 kilos, that's not water weight anymore. Just had to make that really clear, because there's a lot of confusion. But what this kind of looks like, if you're sitting here like, Jess, I hear you, how the fuck am I supposed to realize if this is me and where I'm at right now? It's kind of just like where you're at with your routine. Are you testing the boundaries of, I'll just relax a little bit now. I've started seeing the results, so I could take a step and like kind of take my foot off the gas. Are you rewarding yourself with old habits of like, oh, well, I did 10,000 steps yesterday, so maybe I'll just do 5 today. Like I hit it yesterday, like that's good enough. No, because the first 4 weeks you were hitting 10 every single day. So why are we taking our foot off the gas again? Pulling back on your efforts completely and just calling like near enough good enough. Oh, well, I got like 8,000. So if you have the energy and it's 2 p.m. and you have time in the day, get the 10. Get the 10 or make it up the next day. Recently, I've been just hitting 10. I feel like that's just a good amount for me where I'm at right now. I hit 8 one day and I was like, I'm going to do 12 the next day. I did 12 the next day, but then I thought about, what if I didn't? Then the next day it'd be 14. And the next minute I'm walking 5 hours to hit my goal. No, just be consistent across the week and it feels so much fucking easier. Another one I really see often is avoiding check-ins, avoiding accountability, avoiding being in a one-on-one capacity and like responding to messages. I used to take this personally, I'll be honest. Coach confession. I will be honest, I used to take it personally because I was like, why are they ignoring me? Now I know that it's more about you than me, and you're ignoring me because you don't want to admit that you're in a bit of a spiral. You don't want to almost confess and own up to what is happening, and there shouldn't be shame around it and we shouldn't feel ashamed, but I've seen it's really common and we tend to feel ashamed and awkward and overwhelmed and upset. And a lot of the time when I see that happens, it's easier for them to kind of cancel their coaching than show up consistently and keep going, because they're faced with not seeing the results they want and they start making it about everyone else, and then they want to run and hide. Hats off to my clients that come back in, face me and say, I'm doing really fucking shit right now and I need help. Hats off to them. Compared to people that run away, cancel, ghost, the ghosting, astronomical. I'm sorry, but you're never going to get results until you start wearing your big girl pants, because we're in our mid-20s to 30s, and really just taking responsibility of like, okay, I'm doing really shit right now. I'm not feeling good. My life is a fucking mess. I kind of want to go and crawl in a hole and hide, but I'm actually just going to literally say all of those things that I just said to Jess and have a conversation, because it makes it so much easier to take that accountability. And maybe the check-in form doesn't feel good. Maybe I don't do that this week, but just sending her a message like, hey, kind of struggling here, and going from there. I think it's really baffling when you you should have a really good relationship with your coach, and you should be able to say those things. And if you're someone that doesn't have a good relationship with your coach, find one that you do have a good relationship with, because we shouldn't be hiding the fact that we're feeling shit. And it shouldn't be spiraling like that, out of control, and then gaining back the weight. That's not what I want for you. So let's actually have a conversation. Lastly, letting one day off turn into a whole week, especially across long weekends and things like that. Feeling a bit shit on a Monday doesn't mean you can't do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So what are you doing? That is kind of where we start falling out of habits and start kind of gaining the weight. And those are the little things we do because we convince ourselves, I've already seen the results, I can take a little step back. No, you're not where you want to be. You've only seen a little bit of results, and that is not how we maintain. If anything, that's how we gain. So you don't actually need right now to be better at starting a health and fitness journey, because we already know you're good. You restart all the time. We know you're good. It's actually staying. It's actually committing to the long-term gain. It's actually doing the same actions over and over and over again. And this is why you need to find something you love. And you need to just like pick up extracurriculars and not make everything so deep. If your deficit is your whole identity right now, go to a book club, go to a Zumba class, go to a yoga class, go to a breathwork session, do a pottery class, do something else to get your mind off constantly thinking about food and constantly worrying about your deficit and if you're seeing results or if you're not, because life is too short to be worrying about how your body looks 24/7, to be scared about what the scales is going to say on Monday when you're checking in. Like, I've had enough of that is like no time to live. And if you take advice from anyone, it should be me, because I have like lost 20 kilos and maintained it for years now. And it's not through super hard work. I've talked about this before. I enjoy going for walks out in the sun, getting my little coffee and having a yap. I enjoy going into a workout class and trying new movements. I enjoy going into a session 1-to-1 and having a little chit chat and, pushing myself, but having a conversation so it doesn't feel that deep. I enjoy going into a check-in on a Monday and having a chat with my coach about what's working, what's not working. I enjoy sending a little bitchy voice message about shit that's going on in my life and my coach just being able to giggle and have a conversation about it. You know what I mean? I just think there's so much pressure on the outcome and the weight and all of the things, but no one's thinking about like the connection piece, the sleeping schedule, the anything like that. And I'm just kind of like, what are we doing here? Weird, right? Weird. Anyway, so this is what I'd be doing going forward. Let me do a little checklist for you, okay? Just so if you take anything away, you have a checklist going on. So one, keeping structure even when things are going well, all the time. Even when things are going well. So just because you're hitting your sessions really consistently, still try to keep somewhat of a time schedule in your week to week. Otherwise, that's when we fall out to the end of the week and we procrastinate. Having standards, not moods, following your fucking plan, not your fucking feelings, because 9 times out of 10, something will happen towards the back end of the day and then we don't want to go anymore. This is why I always say train early if you can, or train before you go on your phone or any of the things, because we see something on social media, we get a bitchy message, something fucking happens, then our whole mood is sour, trying to get into the gym before that happens. Shortening the gap between slip up, quote unquote, and getting back into routine, really making sure you take accountability, have a conversation, all of the things. And if you're someone that's self-coaching right now, why not get a coach? Why not lock in for a little bit of time and really just have someone holding your hand, for lack of a better word, riding the wave with you and making sure that you really stay in? Because the fact that if you're looking on the last few years, you've been in and out and just losing and regaining the same weight, and your body has not looked the same, like your body's looked exactly the same, it's not changed at all. Like, I would just be getting some help with that, so that slip up phase is shortened and you really have someone keeping you accountable, and just having support when it's working all the time, not just when it's working in a deficit phase, but when it's working of I'm just maintaining and doing really fucking good and I have really good energy and I'm just loving life. And the thing right now is like, you're not inconsistent, you're not lazy. The thing that is happening right now is the girls that get results, they're not better than you. They're no different to you. They just don't disappear when things get hard. They don't disappear when things feel uncomfortable. And if you're not feeling uncomfortable right now, you're not pushing hard enough. You need to do something more. You need to do something out of your comfort zone. As I said, whether that's joining a new hobby, getting a different coach, getting a coach, getting off the fucking apps. Everyone's always, not Tinder and stuff. Sorry. Getting off the apps like Sweat, Move of Us. They serve us purpose, but if you've been looking the same for 5 years while doing Move of Us over and over and over, Sweat over and over and over, you need to find a new thing. You need to find one-on-one coaching. Sorry, I don't make the rules. But stop panicking. Just if you have one off day, you can. Just because you're sick, you can be sick. You being sick is actually okay, because you're going to get back on track within a week's time. It's when you let little things fall all the time, then you get sick, then the world comes crumbling down because you've dropped everything at once. So stop panicking, stop letting life control every single outcome. Like, you can't control when you're sick. Have a rest and get back into it. You know, when it's like, throwback to when I could actually breathe again when I wasn't sick. That's what we do with fitness. We're like, oh, I could have got my workout in before I got sick, but now I'm sick and this is so fucking shit and fuck my life, you know? Anyway, that is all from me. I feel like I've been yapping and I haven't actually taken a breath, but essentially you're not on struggle street because you're at the start of your journey. You're on struggle street because you haven't gone into a maintenance phase. You haven't actually learned the education around food, nutrition, all of the things, and you just are giving hot mess energy right now, which if I was in your situation, I'm not surprised that you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like, I'm just going to self-sabotage all my results and give up here. Stop feeling like you are inconsistent. Stop identifying with you not being able to get results. Stop seeing yourself as the quote unquote fat girl. That is not you. That is not your journey. And from someone that's lost 20 kilos, if I held that identity forever, I would not be in the situation I'm in right now, I would have gained it all back. I would not be living the life I'm living. And like, honestly, life is so short. And I said this to someone the other day, you have lived the last 20 years hating your body. At what point do we just actually go all in and see the fucking results? At what point do we actually just get you loving your body and not sabotaging? I'm going to be so honest with you. This is what needs to happen going forward. So I've given you a lot to think about. That is all from me. I'll catch you in the next one. That is a wrap on another episode of Doing It Anyway. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you to rate it 5 stars, share it with your friends, share it on your stories. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. Please shoot me a DM on Instagram. All my links are below. See you in the next episode.